All right, so Google has released this really, really cool LLM for time series forecasting. And what is time series forecasting? Well, imagine a chart, right? So like a Bitcoin chart, and you're forecasting into the future. And so they've created an LLM to do this. And it uses the same technology as all LLMs, right? Like, for example, if I'm going to type in a sentence, how to eat, and in Google is going to finish that with something, I don't know what, how to eat a watermelon, whatever it is. But it's predicting that last part, how to eat a watermelon. And the same logic applies to charts, right? So it looks at the past and then predicts the future. And that's what this LLM is doing. And so here's the blog if you want to learn more about the benchmarks and how they've done it. Here is the open source GitHub, which I'm going to be using in this tutorial. And I'm also using Yahoo Finance for the actual Bitcoin data. So like I said, in this tutorial, I'm going to build this and I will show you what it looks like. So this is the end result, okay? So I've already built everything. Here's the command, echo, blah, 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 blah. And here's the script here, forecast pi. Okay, so I should be able to run that. It's going to be running the forecast. So right now it's pulling all the data from Yahoo. And then it's going to use the LLM, use the data from Yahoo to create this chart here, which you see. Okay, so let me just move it into the, into the frame. Here we go. Still not perfect. Let's make it a little bit smaller. There we go. Okay, so here is the chart that it made. Okay, so this is the actual LLM part stuff here. Okay, so all of this data is coming from Yahoo Finance, right? Just pulling it and charting it. Okay, and we can see that this is the Bitcoin price in USD. Okay, but here is what we really want to focus on. So if I zoom in on this, what it's actually doing here is it's predicting the future. And I've asked it to predict bullish or bearish. Okay, so it's still a little bit hard to see. But you can see it's making different predictions. Let's zoom in even more. Here we go. Okay, and so it is, oh wow, it's essentially going down. It's predicting the price will go down over time, which personally I don't believe in, but you know, this is an LLM. Actually, let's see. So this is the forecast of going down here. Here is the, so you can see here as the time goes on, it's less and less likely, but still pretty cool. Okay, and we can zoom in here, switch to bullish, 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 bullish. Oh, so it's saying bullish. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure how to read this chart. I just made this chart as an example, so it's not the best. My end goal, though, I can show you this here. This is what I want to make in the end, okay? And I haven't gotten anywhere close to it. You can see what I've made. But I will make a part 2 to this video, and it's going to be, the descriptor is going to be below. I should have it actually posted now. And so you can, as soon as I post this video, you can live stream. I'm going to live stream, and you can watch and follow along me building this, okay? This is my end goal. Anyways, without further ado, let me show you how to build this amazing LLM charting stuff. All right, so I'm going to close this one and open a fresh repo right here. Zoop. And so there's nothing in here. Just put that in the right spot. The reason why I'm doing it fresh is just so you can see the whole process. Okay, I'm actually even going to delete this. And this is I usually make a guide for myself. Okay, so I have all my links up at the top here. This is going to be using Git Bash on Windows 10, VS Code, actually Cursor. One thing to note is that, like it says here, you should be using Python 3.12. If you have the newest one, I had the newest one and it wasn't working, so I had to kind of downgrade to 3.12 and it works totally fine with 3.12. You can use GPU, but in this video I'm doing CPU just because I was having some issues installing CUDA and stuff like that. So let's go. So let me show you this. I'll show you the Git version I have and also the Python version I have. What is this? There we go. Okay, so like I said, Python 3.12.10, and this is the Git version 2.50. All right, next. So next thing is I'm going to be making the directories and actually going into the directories. I'm making the scripts folder and the output folder. Okay, so this is just kind of some basic structural setup. It's going to, oops, sorry, I didn't copy that. Let me just copy, right-click copy. It's probably better. So like I said, this is going to make the folders, nothing in them though, and this is just for some structure. The next thing here is I will be doing all of this locally in this folder, and that's because I don't want to install these things globally. And so that's what this is doing here. It's creating like a virtual environment. You can see venv. And that's a way in Python to kind of localize all the things it installs into this folder. You can do it global if you want, but I usually use venv just so I don't, if I do many of these tutorials, then I will have all these different libraries installed, different versions and stuff like that. So I try to do it locally. All right, and this step is actually quite important. When I was learning how to use TimesFM, I was doing all sorts of things, and this is the best way to do it. I highly recommend you clone from GitHub. And so this is going to have their exact setup, the newest version from GitHub, and then you just start to install the dependencies, right? So you can see import pandas, import numpy, import all this stuff. This is all connected into this GitHub, so they've already set it up for you. So highly recommend you do this. So I'm going to copy and paste this section right here. Okay, and it's going to start to install everything. So first it's going to clone from GitHub, and then after cloning from GitHub, it's going to start to install all of the dependencies. So it is now done. It installed everything. You can see here, it, oh, okay. Let me just very quickly make a git ignore. Git. This is why I love cursor. I can just say, please create a git ignore. Okay, so it's installed everything here, and let's move on to the next step. So next step is actually creating this script. So this script is the thing that actually activates and uses TimesFM. So TimesFM is an LLM, right? But you need to actually use it. And I've just, let me copy that. Copy. I'm not going to break down this entire thing. This is actually quite important here. So max context, the horizon. Horizon is how far out it can predict, and max context is how much data it takes in the past. Okay, so this is the actual TimesFM function we're running. Everything else here is breaking down the data that it's taking from Yahoo Finance and organizing it, and for example, creating a visual, that chart I showed you, printing the information, detecting switches and trends, right? So this is all going to be happening. Let's see. It's a times forecast. Okay. So anyways, this is the script. I'm going to put this into here. Let's see, made a git ignore. Good. So paste that in. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Let me go back. Copy. Paste. Okay, so now it should have, there we go. So it's made this forecast script. Okay, and this is essentially the bulk of what we need to do. I'm going to commit this to the repo so you guys can see this code later if you wanted to. So that's what this command here is doing. It's just pushing it into my GitHub account. Then next is the actual setup, right? So install dependencies. And so before we cloned the GitHub repo, and now we're going to install kind of like the local dependencies. So let's do that. Paste that here. Okay, and you will see it's starting to install things like pip and all that. This takes a while. So it is now done. It's installed everything. Next step will be to clean up. This is in case maybe I ran it before and I want to run it again. I've just created this to quickly clean out any of the old junk so it doesn't get confused. So let me paste that in. The next step would be to activate the virtual environment. Remember before I said we're creating a virtual environment? Well, after creating it, you have to activate it. Okay, so that's what this is doing here. Now you'll see this venv. That means it is activated. And now, here is the command itself. The big bad command, paste. And you can see the first time it should actually start downloading the LLM locally. Let's have a look. The LLM is hosted on Hugging Face, and the first time I run it, it would have to download, I believe. So, whoa, there we go. I guess it's already downloaded in my system, maybe from before. And here we go. This is the same chart as we saw before, again, which is not perfect. And if you watch part 2 of this video, I'm going to make this better. But just to show you, this is what it's doing. Again, it has the same prediction based on the same data, which looks flat. To be honest, I think the way I've created this chart, the problem is not the LLM, it's the way I've created this chart. This chart is very confusing. I don't really understand bullish, 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 bullish. I don't understand this line. So, need to improve this chart, which again, I'm going to do in the next video. But I hope this video was helpful for you. If you just want to set up TimesLM, here, or TimesFM, I'm sorry. Here's my script to do all that. This will be in my GitHub repo. If you want to kind of do your own whatever, you would just be changing this single file here, which is the script. Okay? So thank you for watching. Please watch the next video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.